And welcome back to the Dean Obeidallah Show. We're live here Friday, January 3rd, 2025. It's our own Project 2025, the first What Just Happened of the new year. And I'm joined by three great people. Andrea Jones-Rooy is back, a data scientist with a PhD, a stand-up comedian, a circus artist. She does it all. She's Dr. Jones-Rooy. Hello, doctor. How are you?
Hello, Dean. I'm so glad to be here, and thanks for reminding me about Project 2025. I forgot about it for about 10 hours, and
We
now
have
it's
our
back
own
in
new
my...
Project 2025. This
Yeah,
is ours. This
I'm
we're
into
gonna
it.
Also, our friend Reem Edan is back, an Iraqi American comedian, content creator, award-winning writer, actress, alumni of NBC late night writing program. She's been all over the place, been on this show. She's been the New York American Comedy Festival, tours nonstop, and I watch her life evolve on Instagram every day. So it's good to see Reem. Like you're like a celebrity come to life. I'm like, look who's here. It's Reem. I see her all the time with her dad. You do the funny
Oh, that's
videos with your
hilarious.
dad.
No one's ever called my TikTok prowess celebrity, so thank you so much. Thank you for
How's your
validating.
dad?
My
How's
dad's good.
Baba's good? Okay.
He's starting to realize how famous he is, and now he's asking for money to be in my videos, and so we're gonna have to correct that. We're gonna have to figure this
Wow,
out.
the Arab dad's like, Habibti, I want some money. This is, I see you making money on this. It's too much. And
Exactly.
also back, he's Brian Scott McFadden. Between going to Aruba, which he'll be going to in a week to do comedy, national headliner. He's been on The Late Show with David Letterman, CBS's The Late Late Show, and more. Touring nonstop, great comedian, really funny. We've done shows together in Jordan, in fact. It's
Yes, we
Brian Scott
did.
McFadden. Nice to see you, Brian.
Yes, hey guys. Well, I got a this is our heavy hitter lineup here. We've got a what was there's a lot of intellectual heft in this show. How
There
did I
is.
sneak in? How did I sneak into this lineup? That's what I want to know. How
You're the
did I?
comedic
What,
relief. You're the
you
comedic
want
relief.
you want intellectual? Did you want intellectual diversity like on a lower level? So you got me? Is that what it is?
We have the
Yeah,
full spectrum here on the show
yeah.
today.
But yeah,
Brian,
literally.
I'm
Yeah.
only
Brian
going
is
to bring
very
the mood
smart.
down, just so everyone
No,
knows.
everyone stop it. All right. Andrea, okay, it's the new year. Before we talk about things like terrorism and people blowing themselves up in front of a Trump hotel and that kind of unbelievable first week, it's the new year. So, on a personal level, any resolutions? Are you looking forward to anything specific? Reem, let's start with you since you're a celebrity. Where do you see this? Well, how do you feel? It's a new year. Are you optimistic? Are you pessimistic? How do you come down all of it?
I mean, besides the drones, I'm extremely optimistic. And this whole fog thing, but I've decided in lieu of resolutions this year, I'm just gonna focus on one word. And so my word for the year is money. So here we are. That's all I'm gonna
Whoa.
Wow,
do.
money, Money, money.
Wow.
Yeah. It's
Last
easier to
year,
remember one word, to
right.
be
Last
honest
year,
with
did
you.
you have a different resolution?
Yeah.
Was there something else that didn't involve money, and so that
Yes,
and you
but
achieve that, and then
to be honest with you, I forgot my resolutions from last year, so that's why I simplified it to one word. I was like, I can't be going this entire time
money.
and forget.
Well, Dr. Jones-Roy, what do you think? Do you have a resolution, and can you sum it up in one word?
You know, I actually feel better knowing that Reem also forgot her resolution, though was from last year. On December 31st, I had a whole conversation with my boyfriend about two really meaningful resolutions, and I have forgotten both of them. Uh,
Wow.
so it's not going great. I think my new one, though, is going to be to achieve the celebrity status of Reem. I'm feeling like I need to step it up. I don't know if
So
I need to get my dad on TikTok or what needs to be involved, but
all you actually need is money. So really, it's just
okay.
full circle.
It's just full
That's it.
circle. Okay.
Andrea, is your dad an Arab immigrant by any chance?
He's not.
Then that's not going to work because their whole
He
thing's about
has
an Arab
kind of
immigrant
darker
dad.
skin, and sometimes TSA treats him like he's an Arab immigrant.
Mm.
But
Wow.
he's also a filmmaker, so he's always carrying around creepy looking electronics in his bag. So he gets tertiary security checks quite a bit.
That's kind of weird. Well,
It
Brian
is
Scott
weird.
Yeah.
McFadden, what about you, my friend? Do you have a New Year's resolution? You're looking forward to 2025? Is there something specific you're
Um,
optimistic about or looking forward toward?
I'm looking forward to achieving the same intellectual resume that Andrea Jones-Roy has, because that was very impressive, and
It's
it
not
very
worth it.
much
Don't do
struck
it.
me. She used the word tertiary in her opening salvo. Already, I'm in trouble. Okay, I'm scampering for a thesaurus. Whatever.
Thesaurus.
But no
That's
one
a
ever
joke.
does their resume. No one ever. You know how like people set a goal for the year and then people don't follow through,
Right.
and that's the sad part. No one has fun. So I think people should pick things they don't actually want, and you know what I mean, because that way
Sure.
they're not or things that are actually negative that they, you know what I mean. So I'm gonna try to be more racist
Yeah.
this year
Wow.
because I know that I'm not gonna do it because I know.
Well,
Yes,
Brian,
I'm going to try to kill
underachieving.
someone, I think.
Right, exactly. Set a goal that you know that you see,
I
I'm
like
not going to do that. So it's like
Yeah.
that way, you know, you'll fail because your body will rebel and then you'll actually achieve the opposite. So I'm actually going to be a better
Smart.
leader,
Right.
Reem's
smart
so
and
much smarter.
smarter person. Yeah.
Smart. You know, my resolution involves ChatGPT because I just
Uh-oh.
began using it for the first time. I'm not even kidding.
The
Like a
best.
few days ago. Oh my God, I'm having a relationship with
Oh,
ChatGPT. Here, I'm not, this is completely serious. 2 days ago, I said ChatGPT because I don't usually use it much, but Hen, my girlfriend, fiance, whatever you want to call her, she told me use this. And so I said, what is better for you, pasta or fried calamari, right? And he said, well, what kind of pasta? Like it was kind of very conversational. It was too familiar. Like it was you're
eerie,
using
yeah.
a French term, like it's vous or tu. It was instead, it went right to like personal, like, well, Dean, it didn't say Dean, it said, well, it depends what kind of pastas you like. And then, so I'm like, well, it's going to be a orecchietta with broccoli rabe versus fried calamari. And they're like, that's delicious. I started saying it was delicious pasta and one of their favorites, right?
No.
And I'm like, I'm not kidding. Like one of the favorites out there. So then I said, I'm like, will you marry me? And then ChatGPT said, is it because we both love pasta? And I'm like, you're flirting with me. ChatGPT was flirting with me. So I'm in love.
That's how they're going to get us.
Brian, that's how it is. It's like the movie Her come to
Yeah.
life, but there's no voice. I just need a voice of someone who's soothing and enticing. Scarlett Johansson worked perfectly.
Yeah.
I know, Colin, I used to work with Colin from Saturday Night Live. I can ask him if his wife will record something because he's married to Scarlett Johansson.
Leave it to Dean to have an opportunity to speak about anything and have some kind of like virtual girlfriend, and he talks about pasta. You know what I mean? Like that.
Their Italian side is showing.
I'm Italian. I'm half Italian. This is what I love pasta. It's not, and it's very all right. So that's it. So it's money. Brian's going to commit murder. No, Andrea's going to commit
committing murder,
and Brian's going to be racist.
Murder,
so we're going to remember these.
That way, none of those things will happen, and that's what we're all about.
Let's check in next year.
Don't wish that upon my money, please.
No. In a year
You need
from
to
now,
say
we'll check
poverty
back
then.
and play all of that. And I hope that Andrea is very wealthy. That Brian is not joined MAGA, and Andrea's not doing this from a holding cell somewhere. She's like, "Well, I achieved it. I didn't think I was."
I'm
going
trying to go find
anyone.
Luigi. I'm going to be his cellmate.
Wow. Remember Luigi? He was
I'd
big for
love
like
to
a
work.
week, and now that's gone. Like Luigi's gone, and now we have things that are just heartbreaking. I mean, you've got first of all New Orleans terrorist attack, and the terrorist attack itself. We're a comedy show, so I don't really like. We'll talk about that seriously if you want to. But to me, the thing that comes out of it is Donald Trump immediately lying that the guy is an immigrant who came over the border when he was born in Texas, raised in Texas, served in the U.S. military, had some personal problems, and sadly enough, got sucked into the lies of ISIS. This man, I read more about him. He was a convert to Islam. He'd been raised Christian, converted to Islam at some point, and really was going through a tough time in his life. And that's when ISIS gets you. I mean, it's on what scumbags in ISIS, and that's what they do. But Trump, he had to make this about the border, and everyone mocked me. So, Andre, you're nodding there. I know we're not surprised, but other Republicans went on Fox News yesterday and continuing to draw the line. They weren't saying the guy was an immigrant, but they were saying this is because of Biden's open borders. Like he was born here. How is that? I don't understand it, but they won't stop. Andrea, I guess it's the permanent campaign. They just keep lying to people over and over. It doesn't matter about facts.
It's the classic fascist scapegoating, right? You just point to some group or some issue that's the problem and some people that you can blame everything on, and then everything goes through that funnel. And it's ridiculous that the basic fact of that this guy was born in Texas, grew up in Texas, is an American and has been an American his entire life. But the fact that he doesn't look like the white dudes who are all in charge, they can somehow get away with claiming that it's something to do with an open border. I don't know. Are they claiming that ISIS people got to him through the open border? It certainly doesn't seem like that's the way that they're getting in. I thought their thing was YouTube over here, but it just doesn't. I mean, this person served in the U.S. military. I mean, it doesn't get more American than that. It's a classic scapegoating.
It is. Brian, have you learned what the word tertiary means in the breaks inside? I want to just go back to you to see that because you're
I looked it up, and I'm even more confused now. So that tells you how there were bigger words in the definition to tertiary than there actually were in tertiary. But so what? So yeah, this whole the whole border thing. Can I just say that ISIS is they're better than the Scientologists. They're getting people everywhere. I don't know what they're like the Jehovah's Witnesses of they're really doing a good recruiting job. They're just getting people. I don't know how they do it. Like whatever happened to the Boy Scouts? when I was people would do, or bowling leagues, right? Isn't there bowling? Can people join something? Go to AA, do so, oh, they got to them. What can AA get to some people and get them involved? Something good can come of this. That's all. I don't even know what's going. By the way, how long can Trump? It's almost like you want Trump to get in now. Just so, how long can this go? Like, how many years? If there's a terrorist attack in 2 years, when Trump's in, does he get to say it's because of these open borders? You know what I mean? Like when does that? It's because of Biden's open borders that this.
Right.
It's gonna
200 years from now.
Yeah. How many? When did Trump gets in, and then everything is his fault?
Oh,
I can't wait. Like
January
I guess I don't know.
January 20th at 12:01 p.m. Eastern time. Anything that goes wrong in your life is the fault of Donald J. Trump. That's all. I don't care. It rains when it's not supposed to rain. The milk expires. You drop something. You're like, Trump. That's how it works. Everything.
Right.
So, Reem, what is your take on this? And also the corporate media, like New York Post, they got into the guy's house yesterday. Somehow the FBI let them in. I'm not kidding. And they found a Quran that was open to a page about martyrs. I'm like, oh, that's interesting how corporate media really digs deep when the person's Muslim. But the January 6th terrorists, you don't see all that studying into the radicalization. What TV shows do these people watch? What were their
100%.
YouTube things? But when they're white, you don't do that. They're just mentally ill. They just needed a hug, or they were misled by Donald Trump, and that's acceptable because he's white ISIS. But so, what do you take?
He's whitest. Well, as a Muslim, we are immigrants. No matter what, you can be born and raised here like me, and it's like I'm still somehow an immigrant. So that part tracks. I just think it's so interesting that this guy had like the ISIS flag and he had like the Quran open. It's like he had all these little Easter eggs, pun intended, or Muslim eggs, just like all around, just waiting for it. Like it kind of seems a little bit too good to be true, or seems like, could it be a plant? I don't know. It just seems like, Trump needed something to start the new year, all white savior and strong. Who knows?
It's interesting. So we're both Muslim. Reem, I've never been approached by ISIS online. They've never tried to reach out
tried
to
to
me.
recruit me as a bride once, but
They did?
I
Are you
didn't-
serious?
No.
They've been trying to get me for years.
Well, with your New Year's resolution, you might be headed down the right path.
Oh.
So
yeah.
that's the thing. Like I don't know. You really have to be distraught in your life. What was unique about this guy a little bit is that usually the people who fall for ISIS are younger. Like there was just the article reminding people about the Taylor Swift almost attack in Europe. The guy was like 19. That's a typical thing. They're 19, 20. Their lives are sucky and they're so ripe. It's like joining gangs. Like their lives suck, right? So they want to feel value. They join. This guy's in his 40s. He's serving in the U.S. military with honor. Like, I mean, how do you? It's not like he's a kid where he's distraught. Like he's working at Deloitte, making $125,000 according to reporting today. Unless he got laid off between the time that they could find his tax returns or was reports. I'm like,
wait. He's working for
Deloitte, the accounting firm.
Really?
Seriously. Yes, I'm not kidding.
That's
Like,
a
a
good
lot of
living.
this doesn't make sense. It doesn't.
No,
it doesn't
now
fit.
it all makes sense. Like they do these Wall Street finance guys. You know what I mean? Is that what they do? I don't even know because they got those the Deloitte Deutsch, whatever the hell. Is it accounting? What are they?
They're accounting. So you're getting back to Reem's point that this seems a little
how boring
fishy.
is that
A little
job?
too perfect.
Yeah.
So you're thinking this is like if it was a Wall Street guy and they were shorting stocks and he went and did something. You go, okay, guys,
There you
I'm gonna
go.
take one for the team. I'm gonna blow something up. Market's gonna go down. We're all gonna make a lot of money. That's like in a James Bond movie. It actually literally wasn't a James Bond movie with the plane.
Wolf of Wall Street. That's Wolf of
Well,
Wall
and
Street.
that's where
stuff right
if the guy was white, then everyone would be like, "Oh, it was some kind of financial white collar sort of thing." But because he's not white, they can open the Quran to a certain page and say, "Well, this is what's going on."
Well,
I
the
will say,
Republic-
Dean, that all of
Yes.
this is very good for ageism, though, because it's not just a young person's game to be recruited into a cult. I'm in my 40s. I feel like I could very easily be brought into a cult at any moment. I just bring on the invitations. I'm ready.
This is just
To
all like a
Andre-
DEI
to Andre's-
initiative.
Yeah.
To Andrea's point, yes,
Andrea.
there's a certain to Andrea's point. There's a certain ageism.
Yeah.
I've never gotten a recruiting letter. I
Yeah.
mean, I was kidding earlier. They don't seem to be after me. I don't know what's going on with ISIS, but whatever happened to DEI? ISIS should be like getting people like me.
Probably
you know,
needs
at
more
least
women.
Like
more
diversity. We
recruiting.
got a white
yes,
guy.
diversity. Yes,
Wow.
yes. There you go.
DE ISIS. All right.
And then
Yeah.
the guys in ICE could be like, I can't be racist against white people. I'm friends with Brian, right? That
Right.
like you'll be used as the way people are like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm not racist against black people. I have Ben Carson right here.
Yeah.
You know,
Some
or
of my
Tim
best
Scott.
recruits are white.
Right,
Yeah.
that's right. So this is very interesting. Brian really put his finger on it. That's why we have Brian here. Brian Scott McFadden, Reem Edan, and Andrea Jones-Rooy making sense of it. I think. I'm not really sure. Then you had
we got it.
the Tesla guy, which at first it almost seemed like it could be terrorism. Like it almost seemed like the guy got a Tesla because Elon Musk went to a Trump property, was going to kill himself and kill innocent people as well. Turns out that's not true at all. That what we know, the guy's a highly decorated Army soldier, a Green Beret, still in active duty, a sergeant, very well respected. He's got a baby at home. Everyone said everything's going fine. His uncle said the guy loved Trump. So I'm like, so why did you blow yourself up in front of a Trump hotel? Was this some kind of sacrifice to Trump? Like, I mean, you gotta have nothing's off the table because nothing makes sense with this guy. So Reem, look, they look into Brown. If he was Muslim, we know they'd be at the Quran, what videos he's looking and all that. But he's a white guy in the military, and everyone's like, well, he's got to be mentally ill. He's got to be personal frustrations we don't get. I don't know. I honestly don't know what caused this. I hope we find out if we can deter others from doing the same thing. It could just be a suicide, but what a weird way to do it.
Yeah, also to purchase a Cybertruck and do it. Aren't Cybertrucks
think he
extremely
rented it.
expensive?
He
I think
rented
he
it.
Oh, he
rented
rented
it.
it. Oh, he rented this. Oh,
That changes everything.
where does
Did that
one
change
rent a
your-
Cybertruck? Yeah.
Does
Like,
that
can I
change your
rent a
answer?
Cybertruck? Did I? Just to
Yeah,
someone's
I mean,
thinking out loud.
yeah, just apples to apples or ISIS to ISIS. It just doesn't, you have like two very similar situations. I would venture to say that was a terrorist attack too, parking outside of a hotel and having an explosion, but one is treated so differently just
Mhm.
because of the color of his skin. So I don't know. It
Wait.
just seems
Brian?
He was radical. I'm sorry. Reem.
We don't know what happened, but this guy.
No, but
one
I mean,
knows.
so you're saying it was a rental. So we're assuming that the other guy was
a rental too.
The
guy
how
was a
weird.
rental.
From the same
Both,
company.
both
Right.
electric cars.
Maybe
both
he was
electric
just
cars.
maybe he was protesting the congestion pricing in the you know what I mean, that we do
So
nothing
he
is
blew
off
up something
the
in
table.
Vegas.
Right, but it's the fact that it's a rental. One guy was radicalized by ISIS, and this guy was radicalized by Avis. Okay, how about hello.
It's also four
I'm
initials.
funny.
Look, we're
Oh,
calling this.
oh.
I should warn people that we're calling this segment called irresponsible speculation.
That's right.
That's what we're going to call the rest of it. Because
Data-free living. Let's go.
It's just whatever, folks. Nothing we're saying is.
Yeah.
These are opinions. Okay.
It's really
Truth
great,
was a
Dean,
sto-
to get canceled this early in the year. I'm really grateful. Just kind of
Yeah.
clean slate
Well,
it from the get
I'll
go.
just pay my contract out. I can just stay home every day.
Yeah,
I'm
be
like,
nice.
well, what? I lost the show, but we're still going to pay you. And then I have to feign. Oh, that's horrible. Really?
Yeah.
So, okay. Because if you're going to get canceled and they have to pay your contract out, make it January 3rd, not December
right.
18th.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
you
yeah.
2 more weeks, stay home. Oh, no, I got a whole year of doing nothing. I kind of like that very much. So we're going to find out. No one knows, but Elon Musk, the scumbag, and I think that's his, you have to
That's right.
trademark it. Elon Musk scumbag. I actually got a pending trademark for that. Bragged about it, used the explosion, goes, the evil knucklehead picked the wrong vehicle for a terrorist attack. He said Cybertrucks actually contained the explosion and direct the blast upwards. Not even the glass doors of the lobby were broken. Like, why was your Cybertruck made in case there's a terrorist explosion? Like, what is that like on the option seatbelt? If you blow yourself up in the car, you'll only be killed.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
I mean,
like
how
you
would you know
want
this?
control and yeah.
This
I
is-
gotta say, kudos to Elon Musk for turning a terrorist attack into a TV commercial for
That's
your
right.
brand. I mean, into an automobile commercial. That is genius. You know,
That
You know?
reminds
PR
me-
Oh my God.
Brian, I did a joke one time after 9/11, like a year after 9/11. I did it at the cellar, and I won't do it again. Now you can do it. But I'm like, United Airlines should take advantage of the fact that the hijackers picked their plane and said, look, the hijackers could have picked any airline, but they picked United. More leg room. You can walk through the aisles much more quickly.
Oh, there you go.
And
Wasn't there a
Fantastic.
slogan for a long time? Come fly the friendly skies. Like that would
Yeah,
have to be
yeah,
updated. I
yes.
think
Yeah, I did that joke like one time, and people were really not happy with me. I'm like,
a year
it's
out
joke.
too. That's tough.
That was
No,
probably.
I loved, but Dean, this is a great premise. Jokes that were too soon, but now we can do them, right?
Maybe. I don't
let's
even
get
know
them
now
out,
if you
right?
could-
Yeah.
Try
Yeah,
it
yeah.
again.
What's the waiting period? Is it 20 years? Because you're
Yeah.
you're
Elon
well
Musk,
past it.
it's 20 minutes. Elon Musk was up.
Yeah.
He put his post
Wow.
up. That was our truck. Look at that. See, what a mistake. So, like, if you're a terrorist, don't use a Tesla. That's part of the message.
Yeah,
and if
it's
you do
awesome.
want to blow yourself up in a car, because where is that helpful? Like, in what point is that a selling point? Like, and if there's an explosion in your car, only you and your family will be killed.
Well,
Like, oh, that's
presumably
nice.
the guy who is a Green Beret, highly decorated, presumably he knows about explosives and would know that they would be contained. Like he must have chosen the Cybertruck on purpose to actually minimize the damage. Maybe he wanted to make a point and not
Perhaps.
kill a whole bunch of people. Like he would have known that he was picking a truck that was, more durable or whatever. Now I sound like I'm advertising for Musk. It's
Yes,
No.
you do.
But he probably
You know what
chose it
I
on
think is
purpose.
cool.
What, Brian?
I wish they had a video, the classic thing from like the Fast and the Furious or something, where the guy's walking away
Oh.
in slow motion and the thing blows up behind him and he doesn't look back. Like that every shot of in every movie, there's something.
Ah.
I want to see the security camera video of the guy just slowly walking away and the thing explodes behind him and he doesn't even flinch. That's what
I'm
want
going to put
see.
myself. I've just learned how to use green screen on Instagram, so I'm going to do that.
Oh, you're
Okay,
in
myself. I'm going to be
Wow.
like, oh yeah, oh that, look at that. Too
I
He's
was
soon?
gonna
been
think it's
becoming
an
very
ad.
tech savvy these past couple of days.
This is-
ChatGPT
no, I just
and green
lo-
screens.
I'm changing my life. 2025 is my year, okay?
Okay.
That's it. I'm using AI and technology to move my career to the level that it should
He-
be because I can't do it on my own. So
The
I
man is
need
the
help.
man is
We need the
Dean is
robots.
cooking. Dean is cooking pasta with AI. Okay, that's
I'm
what this
getting
is
married.
now.
I'm chatting with Andrea Jones-Rooy, Reem Edan, and Brian Scott McFadden. I thought this was interesting. This is completely true. The ATF special agent talking at the press conference about the explosion mentioned the guy who blew himself up was a Green Beret. And I'll just read the line. It seems like a little dig. He goes, the level of sophistication is not what we'd expect from an individual with this type of military experience. I'm like, are you taking a shot at the guy who blew himself up? I would expect it a much, like, what do they teach them in the military? When I was there, we could blow up a whole building. This guy can't even blow up a car. So, Reem, I mean, am I reading it wrong? It seemed like a little dig.
I just think it's interesting that you asked the Arab about my explosion.
Yeah. Anthony and I have
the
nothing to
background.
contribute to this
It's a
conversation.
Reem, what do
DNA
you think about this bomb? I mean, it does seem like a little bit of a dig. So, but then, okay, I don't know why I'm on conspiracy theory mode
It's
today,
because you're
but it's
Arab.
like,
You're Arab.
yeah, probably,
This is what
yeah.
we do. Everything for Arabs is a conspiracy. I swear to God, there's nothing that's not a conspiracy for
Yeah.
Arabs. And then
Yeah.
sometimes it gets true. And you're like, you see, I told you, not a conspiracy.
Exactly.
That's how
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm hearing myself say this. I'm like, I'm on conspiracy talk. There's just a lot of fog in LA right now. And I'm like, okay, that's the aliens. But so if you're saying that like this bomb was not sophisticated enough for what it should have been, then I'm like, well, did he plant the bomb or was this like an ISIS? Like, we don't know because
ATF.
it doesn't make sense. Nothing makes sense.
So Reem thinks it might be the
Wow.
ATF. I like that. I like that very much. All right, but we're gonna take a break. We're gonna see if all three people remain, which would be a first, and then we're gonna come back. A lot of talk because there's gonna be a new MAGA friendly The View, which Reem you'd be perfect for. Let's take a quick break. Andrea Jones-Rooy, Reem Edan, and Brian Scott McFadden for What Just Happened. Be right back after this. And guess what? We're back, my friends. Welcome back. Dean Obeidallah Show continuing here on January 3rd, the first Friday of 2025, with our friends Andrea Jones-Rooy, known as Dr. Jones-Rooy, Reem Edan, very funny comedian, and Brian Scott McFadden, also a hilarious comedian. So here's something we don't need, but I'm just kind of intrigued what you think it'll look like. The LA Times, owner of the LA Times, Patrick Soon Shong, I guess that's how you pronounce it, was speaking with comedian, I put air quotes, Rob Schneider, who's a dick, about creating a MAGA-friendly version of ABC's The View. And I'm like, a MAGA, don't believe women control their own body. What would this show be like? So, Andrea, what do you think a show would look like that's a MAGA-friendly female panel show?
I mean, I first want to just call out MAGA for being very good on DEI. If they want to make something that's inclusive for women, like they're actually being very inclusive and mindful of diversity. So hats off to them for their DEI initiative. But I think
Right.
I think you're right. I think the View panel would be a number of trad wife women sitting around, the ones we see on Instagram, and then it would be their husbands speaking over them. I think that's what the whole show would be.
Oh, smart.
Yeah,
I like that. I could see that where the women don't even talk. The guys
No.
off camera make decisions.
that's right.
And
And,
they go-
even if they're experts in whatever they're talking about, their husband will come in and say, well, actually, and give an anecdote of one time that he read something on Facebook.
And then they cite, like in Timothy in the New Testament, says a woman should learn in silence and full
That's right.
submission to men. And they go, honey, I just want to point out, God said you have to shut up. Okay,
That's
it's not me.
That's right.
It's God. It's right in writing. That's what God said. And that's not in the Quran. That's it. No, believe me, the Quran's got some bad stuff. I'm just saying that really is the New Testament. I'm not picking on it, but I happen to know it because I've cited it in other cases. Reem, what do you think? Would you audition for a MAGA-friendly version? Because you could be perfect. You'd be like their brown friend.
Yeah, that
I was
would
gonna
be
say I've always wanted to play white, but I didn't know you wanted me to play myself.
How could you play white? Is there what would they do? Is there DNA altering stuff, or
I
just
don't know.
makeup?
I mean, we should ask ChatGPT. Um,
How
I
dare
can
you? I
loan
think
you
you're
some
mocking the
foundation. I
love of
think
my
whiteface
life.
is still allowed.
Whiteface is allowed, but
Yeah,
brown
it's got to
face.
be.
So what do you think will look? What do you think?
What would it
Is
look
there,
like?
is there going to be like a whiter version of Joy Behar? I mean, what's going to be
That's
like?
hilarious. I think it's going to be the exact same thing, just not fact check.
Mm.
Just, spewing whatever you want and just starting with like a fairy tale and going from there, seeing how far left we can, or how far into the wild we can get. I'm
That's
with it.
interesting. So,
Sounds
Brian,
kind
what
of
do
like
you
an
think?
improv show more than
Right.
a.
Brian does a great joke about what women want, that
Uh-oh.
the cats and everything. We won't do it now. It's like a
Yes.
10-minute joke.
Yeah.
It's a great joke. So you understand women. You have what women want. Didn't you have an album called "What Women Want" or comedy?
Yes,
See,
that's
so what? So
that's
you're
right.
the perfect person. Tell women. Tell these two women who shouldn't speak anymore.
That's right.
How? What? Because we make it the MAGA show. What do women
you-
want?
Can you mute their microphones, please?
Please. Sorry, we're going to just
Because
eliminate their voices.
You
the
know
rest of the
why?
time.
Because a man is talking. Okay, a man is talking right now. So there's gonna be a lot of this. You know what I'm talking about? Listen, broads, listen up. It's MAGA friendly, live from freaking Staten Island. Okay, all right. We're gonna do a freaking show called Yeah the View. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, The
With
View?
a bunch of guys. Joey, yeah, you listen
You.
up and you listen to my viewpoint. All right, not for nothing. But here in Staten Island, we're very MAGA. I like the MAGA friendly. It's
Yeah.
not MAGA. It's MAGA adjacent. I don't know what that. You know what I mean. I don't. You're asking me what the.
Are you the one that has the album "What Women Want"?
I
I'm like,
understand
are
that,
you
but how
selling
did
yourself
this
as
is?
an
I'm
expert
just.
woman? He does
I
a
just
great
want to
thing
know
with
if
the
they
cat
need.
and the cat
Yes,
and
I
the
know,
thing.
but
He does the whole
you can-
joke. You guys don't know.
I
it.
think
It's
we have to
really-
hear the
it's very-
joke now. I think it's
It's
going
like
to
what,
work
30
yeah.
minutes? No, it's the
in
rest of
this
the show. It's like a
context.
10-minute joke.
It's
Yeah, let's
literally
go.
it's a 10-minute
available.
bit that got me on Letterman. It's the
Yeah.
10-minute bit that got me on Letterman.
All right.
But here's
It's a great joke.
Yes, it's a very
Where can
funny
people
but
watch it? Where
elaborate.
people want to watch it now that you've hyped it so much?
You can go to my YouTube page. It's on there. It's got Brian Scott McFadden on social media. Brian Scott McFadden on social media.
It
Find me
might be
on,
Brian Scott
on
McFadden.
YouTube.
I met
Brian
Brian.
who
when he was-
McFadden? What
I
was
met
it?
Brian when he was just Brian McFadden, but then he had to
Yeah,
get a
yeah.
middle name because it was some boy band guy in the UK, right?
Yes, there was an Irish singer by the name of Brian McFadden, and now I gotta use my friggin' middle name. He ruined everything for me. Okay, the lead singer of Westlife ruined my life. Okay,
That's
so now
very
I'm
good.
doing. I gotta use
That-
my damn. But if by the way, for this MAGA show, do they need a warm up? A guy, or I'm just asking.
Are you MAGA
Look,
friendly enough?
I just might be MAGA friendly enough to
Yeah,
get a
exactly.
writing gig. Look, I know there's ideological things I object to, but I gotta pay the rent. You know what I'm saying, right?
There are comedians that are the MAGA, the right wing comedians. I mean, like Dennis Miller, is he still doing comedy? I mean, there are a few other right wing
You're writing
comics
for
out there.
Gutfeld, right? That's a decent
Oh,
bit of money.
Gutfeld, the unfunniest guy in the world. He's not tall enough to be funny. That's the problem for him. Is that wrong, Brian? He's
Yes,
really
but some
small.
of Gutfeld, some of those guys are actually funny comedians and
Yeah.
they're
Right.
good writers.
I agree.
They're just making a living.
Yes, but Gutfeld,
Right.
He's not.
There's. I watch Gutfeld and I'm amazed that he can be like that's a pretty good joke. And it was just not delivered well at all. Like, I'm like, all right, that's amazing. Like to butcher a really well-written piece of material.
Reem, do you know who Greg Gutfeld is on Fox
No,
News?
I'm
He
just
has a
smiling
show.
along.
He has a huge, his
you.
show is hugely popular. I mean, in terms of
Huge.
ratings, because it's like 11 o'clock on Fox News, and everyone watching Fox is just falling asleep with their TV on. So
It's
the
like their
ratings
late
are
night.
huge, right? Like it's their late night,
Oh.
and it's on. It gets more ratings than sometimes than Fallon or Colbert because I'm
Wow.
not even kidding around. But they have real comedians on at times. But he thinks he's so funny, and he's the death of comedy. He's antimatter. He's anti-comedy. Like all comedy, he's a black hole that comedy gets sucked into and destroyed because he's a jerk.
If I could
and
stomach
look,
it, I would hate watch it because it feels kind of cathartic. Now that
Well,
like I
they
would
should-
enjoy it, but I can't get past the message.
I should play the
you know,
clip.
Oh, I
when
can't wait to watch this.
He's
I-
he
you
made
know,
fun
you-
of me on his show and called me Obeidallah, blah blah blah. Like, and he thought it was funny. I'm
Clever.
like, you're an idiot.
Clever.
Like, sorry.
Right.
So it's personal. Like, it's not even hard to say my name.
I
Sorry,
wish
Brian.
that
That's
I
Your name
thought
is
that
very
show-
phonetic. I'll give you that.
It is.
That's right. Dean Obeidallah is very musical.
It
but
is.
it's very musical. But I in that show, I just thought it would be kind of cool if the show, when it first got on the air, I thought, oh, good, maybe they're gonna do like okay, they're going to make fun of this, but they're also going to make fun of Trump once in a while, but they never do.
No,
That's the
right.
thing. They never
Not
do.
once?
Can't make
it's
fun of
like
the
almost
king.
never, right? And I'm like, oh, come on, guys. If you're supposed to be I mean, even the pretense of even-handedness or something like that, at least throw in a couple of jokes there.
Yeah.
But no, they can't
That's
do it
because Trump
they're
can't take a joke. He would go after them so hard.
Oh,
that
he would mock
shut
them.
down.
Oh yeah.
Mr. Funny. All right, so this is I found this kind of amusing here. I don't know why no one got hurt. It was a crime. But in New York, a 20-year-old guy just got arrested for breaking into Mayor Eric Adams' house. And Gracie Mansion is called here. They get their own house, the mayor. He did it on New Year's Day at 4:30 in the morning. The police arrested him. He's from the area. If he was a migrant, we'd be hearing about it because Trump would say how unsafe New York is. The mayor's house got stolen. And I guess it's ironic someone else committing a crime in Adams' house when he's usually committing crimes. But folks, here's what I'm saying. What was interesting, the guy took a video of himself stealing a Christmas decoration. It was almost like a dare. He goes in to the second floor, steals a Christmas decoration, videotapes himself doing it. Then the cops find the video and they go, "We got you. Well, you took a videotape." He goes, "Here's the decoration back." So they've charged him. But I'm like, it doesn't look good when the mayor's talking about law and order when his own house isn't safe. And the guy did it. So, Brian, you live in New York. What do you think of this?
Were you there?
Brian, do you know the
Yeah.
guy? Are you who books this? Like every comedian.
No, I am him. I mean, I can't believe you went through. Imagine that you're like this character that gets through. He's a cop. The mayor's the cop. He's a cop. He's now the mayor. You would think that he would have the most security around him of anyone. And then the guy breaks through that master security. And what does he take? A Christmas decoration. I mean, they're like, really, we're not dealing.
Well,
we're not
that Christmas
dealing
decoration was worth $1.7 million.
Yeah, put on
It was
eBay.
all diamonds. It was like Catherine
That's-
Zeta-Jones and the thing with they were hiding and who was that? Pierce Brosnan. I don't know who she
The
was in.
lasers,
Oh, yeah.
that thing.
The laser, yeah. It had to
Oh,
go
yeah.
through the lasers and all that.
Michael
and he gets-
Douglas, yeah,
right, and
whatever
then he
that
puts
was,
in his
yes.
pocket. And he's like, "Look what I
Yeah.
did." That's it. Because
Yeah.
maybe we're making this like an $8 Christmas decoration or a $1 Christmas
Yeah.
decoration. I don't know.
I mean, the guy's not Kaiser Soze. Let's just put it that way. He's just like a
But
very
who breaks into the
low
mayor's
level.
house?
Do we
He
have any
jumped the
idea how
fence.
they
Well,
got
look,
in?
He jumped the fence.
In his defense,
They have video of him
here.
jumping.
I think a fence and a
But hang
window.
on, Brian. They have video of him jumping the fence, and no one's like, "There's a guy jumping the fence." Like, forget it. Whatever. It's nobody. Like
Right.
security's watching this happen. The guy's the NYPD guarding him. He's the mayor. This guy gets to
Yeah.
the second floor,
There's a lot to like
steals the
about
Christmas
this.
decoration, and then leaves. And then they arrest him without any kind of. And the guy's like, "Yeah, that's me."
Maybe they
And
just
he-
showed each other the videos.
He has.
Yeah.
Here's you jumping in, and here's you stealing the ornament. Just video to
Wait,
video.
did he actually take an Instagram video of this? Because he
He's,
better
the
have.
police said
Yeah.
the suspect showed detectives a video of himself removing a
Yeah.
Christmas ornament from the drawer. He's still like, "We don't know if we have
Oh,
enough
so-
evidence to hold you." He's like, "Well, how
Yeah.
about this?" Like, oh,
So there you
that's
go.
you.
I mean,
yeah, now we can charge him. Okay, Joe, we got him. Let's wrap it up. We
so
broke
I
this
blame
case.
it's the whole Instagram culture.
Mhm.
You really got to up your game. I mean, look what Mr. Beast is doing. So soon you're gonna have to kill somebody and then videotape that, and it's just gonna get escalation. It's a nightmare. It's
Well, here goes
social
my
media.
resolution. Shit.
It's
Yeah.
there you go.
Reem,
That's
you
the-
use you use Instagram a lot. Would you do something else outrageous as commit a small level crime to
Oh, I
try
do
to get
every
more
day.
followers? Oh, you do?
All the
to
time.
get more
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
followers? Explain how.
This is an act of violence against Islam my entire career. No, but I just I don't know if I would do something like that. I know a lot of influencers do it, but when I saw this whole story, all I could think about was I can't wait for Eric Adams to do a whole perp walk with this guy who broke into his house, just a la Luigi, just walking with the whole helicopter in the background,
the
holding the
soldiers-
Christmas ornament. Yeah,
Like
yeah,
he's
yeah.
Batman, like he's like the Joker, and they got him. And people haven't
Exactly.
seen the video. Luigi, they had literally him in orange and guys with like AR-15s surround him in the helicopter. And Eric Adams walks in, and you're like, "Which one's the criminal?" Oh, they both are.
That's
'Cause
why
they're
Yeah,
both
yeah,
under
yeah.
they're
Security,
both
yeah.
charged with crimes. Eric Adams is
Oh.
not. He's kind of a scumbag. I have to be honest. I mean,
Also, where
he's-
was he?
where was the mayor? I didn't see in the article where he was. Maybe he was with his friends from Turkey because he loves the Turkish. That's how he got
Yeah.
his criminal charges. Maybe he's at a Turkish restaurant. I don't know.
He
But in
was
any
at the
event,
Times Square ball drop, or at least so depicted on TV, I think. So maybe he just stayed there and was like doing drugs and partying or something like that.
hanging out with Anderson Cooper
Yeah.
and Andy Cohen.
That's
While
right.
they were doing.
By the
Whitney
way,
Cummings made
the
fun
Three
of him on
Musketeers.
TV, which is
Yeah.
kind of funny.
By the
That's
way,
amazing.
maybe the guy just needed some party decorations. I mean, you don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like the guy, maybe Party City had a long line. if you want to get a good decoration situation for your tree, you know, Adams, there's so many that people that have so much and others have so little. This is this is an ornament inequality problem that we have.
Redistribution.
Okay. This is
So
yes,
Brian is
we need
making sense of it. This is a sad story of a young man who just wanted an ornament on his Christmas tree, had nowhere to turn at 4:30 in the
Absolutely.
morning on New Year's Day.
Yeah.
Sounds like
It's
a
like-
story
it's like
of
a
Christian
really-
values to me.
Yeah, exactly. This is like a low rent version of
Christmas Carol.
a Charlie Brown Christmas.
It's kind of like a
You know,
Les
where he's looking-
Miserables.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of the Christmas carol, it's like a New Year's carol.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
son, is the Christmas ornament still on the tree by the mayor? I don't know.
No.
Here you go, smart Scar. You're a smart
No.
man, smart young man.
Son,
Here you go.
I can't afford a positive a lot of decorations this year, son. I'm sorry, we didn't make. I got fired at the plant, and then the little boy goes, you know, Dad, I'll go find something out there, and he goes to the mayor, and he gets the best ornament ever. It's an uplifting.
No, but you have
positive-
to. There's got to be a step in between where he goes on the door and knocks and says, "Mayor Adams, can I please
Can
give
I-
me an ornament for our tree, please,
Give
About
us
tree.
please?" And they're like,
and,
he
what-
shuts
and
the
he
door.
says,
He's like,
no, yeah.
He
That's
said,
right.
no,
He's the Grinch in
humbug.
this. Yeah.
Right,
This is
humbug. How dare you?
Dean, you just wrote a Hallmark. We just wrote a Hallmark movie in 3 minutes, right there. Okay, this is a beautiful, uplifting
Who
story.
needs a? I'm actually reading from ChatGPT. That she told me to say this, all of this, and I gave her a gender. She's not a gender because Hen thinks it's a guy. I'm like, it's clearly a woman. So in any event, let's continue on. We're chatting with Andrea Jones-Rooy, Reem Edan, and Brian Scott McFadden. Speaking of the Christmas spirit, Will Ferrell, and I just watched Elf again. I love Elf. He went to an NHL game, Kings versus the Flyers, at Los Angeles Crypto.com arena, which is just when the cryptocurrencies crash, they're going to they're going to foreclose on that. But in any event, he went dressed as Buddy the Elf from the 2003 movie, and he was there with his wife and his son. And he was not shaven. He was drinking and had a cigarette in his mouth, not smoking it, but showing it. And he was like the broken elf. Like Buddy's been through a tough 20 years. He met his dad, James Caan. It worked out in New York. Now he's in LA. He's a crypto bro, and things have just been a rough year somehow. So I thought it was priceless. I mean, Reem, did you see the picture? I'm not sure if you saw this whole thing. Did you see Elf?
I
Let me ask you.
did.
As a Muslim,
did.
have you watched Elf?
I love Christmas more than I love my own holidays. I have seen Elf. I saw the whole shindig with Will Ferrell recently. And listen, I know I've been on my whole conspiracy game today, but as somebody who used to work in film marketing and specifically publicity, when I saw that whole Elf thing, I was like, oh, are they going to announce that Elf #2 is coming out this year, where he's jaded in the city? Because that's totally something we would have pulled to get people to start talking about it. So that's my actual prediction
I like that.
for what
Wow.
that is. Yeah.
That's kind of interesting that this was the beginning of be like, oh, why don't they do a new one? I mean, I just watched it. It's really funny. Like there's some story holes here that me and Brian could have polished it and made it better. Like we just made that genius story, Brian and I.
Wait,
No, yeah,
you
you
mean
should
that-
really-
the Christmas
wait.
ornament.
Maybe they'll bring you on for Elf
wait.
too.
Wait, story holes
Just
in a
something-
story
There are a few
of a
things.
fictional elf,
How
right?
dare you?
Yeah,
How dare you mock me? There's
yeah. There's
no, but there
story
was a-
holes in the
there are a
elf
few
story.
things.
Yeah.
But Peter Dinklage before Game of Thrones is great. Look,
Yeah.
he's an angry
Right.
little elf. Say elf one more time. And that was great. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
this is fun. So, Reem, you like Christmas movies as well, even though you're Muslim. People don't get Jesus is part of Islam. People don't get it. Like,
Yeah.
There's no elves, but Jesus is part of Islam. It's a prophet. So he's
Well, there
important.
might be, depending on which book. But yeah, I think I celebrate Christmas culturally. It's one of my favorite things. I watch Elf every year. But yeah, when I saw that, I was like, there's something more here. It reminded me of like behind the scenes clips from like Borat or things that we didn't know were films until afterwards. So
Oh.
that's my prediction.
Reem, I think I
Interesting.
figured out why you're not getting recruited by ISIS, though. It's the Christmas spirit you've got. It's keeping you. They're like, we can't even
Sure.
bother. She's watching Elf.
She's too far gone. She
Yeah.
lets her go. Yeah.
She loved the elf. Look at picture. She's
Yeah.
not there.
It would
She
have been
went with
if he wanted to show the elf really spinning out of control, he could have showed up at the game driving a Tesla truck.
Yeah.
That would have been
Oh.
Oh, with a
that's
big
when it-
elf hat on top of the
yes,
car.
Yes, there you
And
go.
then
And that would
no
have
one
been,
gets hurt, but the
yeah.
elf hat gets shot into the air.
Yeah,
See, we
right.
cleaned this up. Brian, another classic, which is another Christmas
Elf
classic
3.
you and I
Now
wrote.
it's out. Yep.
Me and Brian are
Okay.
coming up with classics. It's gold. What was it like? Remember in Seinfeld?
Gold,
These are-
Jerry. It's gold.
It's gold, Jerry. This is gold. Brian, you
This
remember
is
Seinfeld?
gold. Yes, gold.
All right, fair enough. I'm not sure what's going on here. All right,
Yeah.
a lot going on here. Did any of you guys watch the movie It Ends With Us?
No.
I did.
You did. All right, so none of you guys can play. Only we
Okay.
can talk here. No,
I'll mute
it's a
myself.
movie, and what is so bizarre is it's based on a book that was really popular. I didn't know the book, and it's about on its face. What it's really about is domestic violence. If you watch the movie, and I watched it on Netflix, it's really a rom-com until like minute 80. Like, wait, this is a feel-good rom-com. What's going on here? And then at the end, and then there's a little turn, and it's not even that dark. And it made $350 million. And I'm like, I know why, because it's not a domestic violence. They whitewash it to the point to make it accessible, and a little story point at the end where you're like, okay, he learns his lesson and all that kind of stuff. But it ends with us, doesn't end on the screen. It's ending in the courtroom because everybody's suing each other right now. First of all, though, Reem, did you see the movie? But you saw the
I
movie.
did see the movie.
Did you know it? Were you familiar with the book?
I hadn't read the book. I first heard about the movie when the whole lawsuit came out, and I was like, oh, I gotta watch this. But then I enjoyed the movie. I don't know if it's because the whitewash part of me really connected. But as far as a film, I enjoyed it, but I do agree it was a little light on like the domestic violence undertones. I think it could have been driven home a little bit more.
Reem, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Are these lawsuits publicity stunts for the movies? Because now I want to watch the movie and I did not want to watch it before.
So what they are is to cover up for the drones. It's really just not scary.
Did you say?
I'm writing this down.
I should tell people the movie stars Blake Lively, who's married to Ryan Reynolds, and she's known from Gossip Girl, and Justin Baldini, who I really didn't know before, but other people knew. He co-stars and directs the film.
I think it's Baldoni, but yeah.
Baldoni. I looked him up. He looked like Middle Eastern, and he is like, it's really kind of weird, and he's Baha'i, his religion. Not to get into it, because it's a sort of arguably an offshoot of Islam in a way. You could say it if you want to. People, I might get stoned to death for saying that, but some people might say that. Like, in any event, so he goes.
This
to
is
Baha'i
why ISIS doesn't recruit you.
You're right.
Yeah.
He's very religious too. He's very Baha'i. He's gone to the temple in Haifa a few times. But in any event, so here are the allegations. So first of all, there's all these fighting like on the red carpet that they're accusing them of making light of domestic violence to sell the film. And if you watch the film, they really did whitewash it. So that's one thing. But the lawsuits are Blake Lively sues Justin Baldini for being abusive on the workplace. For example, I'm not mocking this, I'm just sharing it. It seems funny though. Lively said that Baldoni called her trainer 4 months after the birth of her fourth child for telling she needs to lose weight for the role because he has to lift her at one point. And then I'm like, wow, that's kind of petty. And then the other one walked into her dressing room when she was undressed and breastfeeding her baby. Now he denies all this. He says, though, I called the trainer because I have to lift her and I have a bad back. Then New York Times writes this article that's scathing about Baldoni. How do you pronounce it? Baldoni. So he sues the New York Times for $250 million on New Year's Eve, saying you cherry picked the stuff and you misled everyone, all that kind of stuff. So this is what's going on, like this kind of crazy thing. And I don't know if it hurts anyone's career. The movie made $350 million. It only cost like $50 million to make, or how much? $25 million to make. So, Andrew, so you say now does this make you want to actually watch the movie?
Now I'm a little bit more invested. Yeah, I knew about I followed the gossip on like the Blake Lively side when they started doing the press tour, and she was like, they found all these clips of her being mean to interviewers and her whole thing about like, get your friends and your florals and go watch the movie. And it's like, isn't this about domestic violence? So I knew about the heat against her. And then I also was following the drama because I am small-minded and have nothing else going on. I also was following the drama about how she and Baldoni were never showing up at the same places for the red carpets and the whatever. And so there was like something going on. And my understanding was that there was a disagreement about the direction of the film, and there were different versions that people were arguing over and all these other things. So I didn't know it was a sexual harassment thing. I thought it was a creative difference thing.
It's not, when you read it, it's not really sexual harassment.
Like
it's
workplace,
like inappropriate. It's like you made the workplace toxic.
That's right.
So I'm going to sue. And then she hires a publicist, and that's the New York Times reported, and then Justin hired a publicist to smear her. Like that's another all part of it. You smeared her. Brian, look, is this MAGA friendly? Is this MAGA friendly, the View show?
So far from what I've heard, I prefer our movie about the stealing of the ornament.
You guys could sue each other afterwards and create a whole other thing too.
But there's nothing about this story that's nearly as compelling as the little kid.
My favorite scene in the movie we wrote is that the kid goes to the mayor and knocks on the door. Please, sir, just one ornament for the tree.
Yeah, and with a British accent for no reason.
Yeah, just
that's what I love. That's what, he's got a Cockney accent from like Dickens' day.
Governor, Governor, please, I'm here to see the mayor.
But meanwhile, he's from like Williamsburg or something.
He's from
He's
he's from the
Staten
Upper East
Island.
Side.
Upper East Side.
He's from Staten Island.
is.
He's MAGA. He's MAGA friendly. We can have the MAGA angle. The kid's from Staten Island, but he has a Cockney accent. It's a winner. I think it checks every box. This thing, right?
All right. So last thing, this movie did make $350 million. They netted $325 million, despite all of this garbage. Sequel. Reem, you're from the PR world. What do you think? Is there going to be a sequel? There was a sequel book that was a huge hit too. That was based
with
on
Buddy the Elf. I would watch
No. This just is. No, it ends with us.
Blake Lively is dating Buddy, and that's why he's all
that's
worn out.
crazy.
Now.
I love it. And the new Deadpool. So there is a sequel. Doesn't the whole
There was a
title
book that
revolve?
was a sequel. No, then they made a lot of money. And they go, it doesn't actually end with us. It ends in
It
volume
didn't
2.
end.
That's
That's
exactly what
hilarious.
happened. I'm not kidding. It made so much
It
money.
doesn't. It doesn't end with us because
Yeah.
there's going to be a sequel. Yeah.
I mean, regardless, if it has Justin Baldoni without a shirt on again, I'll watch it. I will watch it. That was the best part for me. I was trying to pay
Wow.
attention to like the strong
You have
messages,
been
but I couldn't.
whitewashed. That's rough. That's
Yeah,
really
I'm gonna
rough.
have to sue you for you just made the whole show a sexual toxic workplace.
No,
I'm
first
sorry.
of all,
I'm gonna
he's
sue
not
you.
white.
HR.
Discriminated against.
I'll have to call HR. This isn't
Wow.
appropriate at every level. I'm
Did
sorry.
I make this an uncomfortable work situation?
No,
for
it's fine.
everybody?
Whatever. Look,
Sue
it's
me.
not the first time it happens, but it's going to be cut out. Andrea, what about you? Do you think it's going to be made? And before we run out of time, I want to give everyone a chance to plug their stuff. So, Andrea, sequel, yes or no?
Yes, and I think they're going to do 2 sequels, the Baldoni version and the Blake Lively Ryan Reynolds version, and they're going to be dueling sequels to see which one is better.
Genius.
Thank you.
Brian, tough to top. Where do you come in? What kind of sequel do you see for this? British and Irish accents? Something for you?
Totally. I see an entire I smell a franchise here. What I'm saying is that this is going to outdo the Fast and the Really Furious.
Yeah.
Okay, this is going to be 14 movies with exploding Tesla trucks, stolen ornaments, and domestic violence. That's what I see.
I love it. It's
The
not
big
an
three.
American story. It's an Irish story. It's not going to have a happy ending. That's how it's
That's
going to
right.
go. Oh, my brother
And,
Brian.
and we get Will Ferrell hooked up to this thing, and we're gonna all make billions.
All right, that's enough.
I think Reem and I get royalties for whatever this is that you spew out because I feel like we facilitate the emergence of this idea.
Wait, Andrea, did we just start our own The View?
That's
Did we
I think
just-
Oh
so.
my God, this is the MAGA friendly view.
ISIS friendly. Yep.
Somebody get Rob Schneider on the phone. We've got
Where is he? Is he working at Home Depot now? What time's
We've
his
got
shift?
a TV show.
What?
We've
Oh,
got
no.
movies. This whole thing is turning into a mega franchise, a MAGA franchise.
The show's never going to end. Well, we've run out of time though. We'll just keep talking as we'll continue on because that's what Zoom for. Reem, if people want to follow your work, your comedy, your videos, where can they go?
Yeah, well, since TikTok's going away, Instagram at Reem Edan, ReemEdan.
I hope it doesn't go away, but we're going to see. Andrea Jones-Rooy, Dr. Jones-Rooy, as we like to call her. Doctor, where can people follow your stuff?
I appreciate the title. I am on Instagram and YouTube at Jones-Rooy, JONESROOY, and I have a podcast called Behind the Data at BehindTheDataShow.com.
Excellent. And Dr. Brian Scott McFadden, man of 1,000 voices. Where can people follow your work?
Well, you can find me on Brian Scott McFadden and Instagram. Look for me at Brian Scott McFadden. I'm doing a podcast with Dustin Chafin called Chasing Comedy.
Nice.
You can hear us working out bits and trying to figure out what's funny and what's not. As if we know anything. And yeah, Brian Scott McFadden on social media, Brian Scott McFadden on social media, Brian Scott McFadden.
Okay, stop it.
Instagram,
That's it. And Dustin was just on a few weeks ago and he mentioned that. So, well, thank all three of you. You were great. Happy New Year. I wish all of your dreams from murder to racism to money all come through.